Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interactions. We have the 2020 feature, Sports with Brian Camp, and Entertainment News with DJ Pete. So settle in with coffee in hand, and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and here we are together once again, gathered around the breakfast table or whatever place that you have that we can gather around each week. Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Allan, and the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And of course, we're here on a Friday, as every Friday we're here, and we get together each week and we sit down and relax and get topics going and get you involved in conversation as well. And just to let you know, if you're a brand new person coming to this show for the very first time, well, then you ought to know how we operate. It's a program of free ideas and exchange. We exchange ideas and you can talk to us live as we talk to you. And what we do is, as the host, I get involved, start the conversation going. Right? We get conversation going, and then in between all of that, anytime you like, you can type in and I will see you right there on a big screen, just to let me know that you're out there by a simple hello. And if you have something you want to say in particular, a certain topic that you want to inject into the program, well, we're going to entertain that for you. All you have to do is just, like I said, type in and I'll see you right there on the big screen. And yes, we are here on a Friday, and boy, the time really goes by really quick when you're having a lot of fun, right? The whole week. But it's good to know that the weekend is here and we're getting set. So we're going to get the weekend underway. And first of all, we got to get the show out of the way, right? Get that out of the way. Want you to know that in conjunction with interacting with you, of course, we do our regular things. We have the 2020 feature coming up. Brian Camp will be here for the first part of the 2020 feature. And he will be here bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. That's 20 past the hour. Second half of the 2020 feature, DJ Pete with Entertainment News, reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety who are celebrating this week. However, Pete won't be here today. So he left us information that I will convey to you, and that should keep the show rolling. Now, anywhere around the world, wherever you go, whatever you do, it doesn't matter. We're all around the world. This show is global, and we're coming to you from 3 different places. We're coming from Facebook, and it's Facebook Live. We're on YouTube, and of course, Instagram Live as well. And so you can pick your choice, pick your poison, wherever it is, and you can be here with us all through all of those 3 entities. Either one. It doesn't matter, but we're here live and we're coming out of New York City. That's where we originate. And those of you who are watching us on Facebook, let me just encourage you at this particular moment. You can do it right now without even blinking an eye. All you have to do is tag your friends and they'll see this show. You tag this show to your friends, they'll see it. You may have a bunch of them. You may have all of them. You may have a select people that you like to come in. Doesn't matter, but the more the merrier. And when they see that information and they see that notification, they will click onto that notification and then they'll find that we're here. They'll bring us right to us. And of course, they'll see you, they'll see me, and they'll see others who may be coming in to talk, and they'll be able to talk in conversation too. If you are watching us on YouTube, I also encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a little button there. Sometimes it's black, sometimes it's red, but it does say subscribe. All you have to do with your mouse is hit that button and it's automatically there. Now, you don't have to pay any money. There's no fee. It's free. No fee. It's free. And you could click on and it's right there. And then when you click on to subscribe to us, that'll give you a chance to know when we come on live, or when we post a video or a photo or something to that nature. It will give you notifications providing you're online. And then you can go directly to the website. It'll bring you right to our page. And a lot of people will sit back and say, oh, you know something, I forgot the show, but it's good that the notification came up and it'll take you directly to us. And those of you who are watching us on Instagram, thank you so much for being along with us. Please continue to follow us. Please tell your family and friends, and make sure that they know all about it. Now, remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on the show, The Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people here on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast publication. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the show started. Let's raise our cups, because after all, what would the coffee hour be without coffee? So excuse me while I shoot up. Legally, that is. Everything is legal here. Got a lot of things to talk about today. And of course, we want you in on the conversation too. Brian Camp, as I said, will be here pretty soon. I want to say good morning to Warren. He's out there from North Carolina, and he's in with us today. So thank you so much for being along with us. Those of you who are going to be part of us and you want to make part of the conversation, what we want you to do, it's not mandatory, but we always ask if you want to chime in conversation, give us your weather forecast wherever you are. You can be someplace else overseas. You can be in another part of the country or another city, another state. Like I said, it's global. So just let us know what your weather is, because it's all different. Now, if you live in the New York area, New York City area, or in the vicinity somewhere, don't worry about it, because you dodged a bullet. I will have that weather forecast for you coming up, and we'll have that for you. And it doesn't look too good for the weather in New York, but we'll tell you more about that later as we go along and give you all of that information. We are right now in the midst of Women's History Month. You know that, right? This is the whole month. Now, just this past Wednesday, they had National Women's Day. But you gotta realize that the whole month is dedicated to women. National Women's History Month. And there are so many things that talk about women, because actually they're the backbone of this country. It could be the backbone in your household, right? And they've done so many incredible things, and you don't have to be famous to be honored. And I bring that out because a lot of people have made a lot of great contributions. People when I come to mind, like Oprah Winfrey and people like her, and then you talk about people like Rosa Parks and Harriet Tubman and all these kind of people. All of those people, and they were all women, and they've done great things. And you, as an individual, I'm pretty sure have done great things. Everyone makes a contribution, so we salute you. And I want to do that with two hands. I want to salute all of you. Usually salute with the right hand, but I'm going to salute with both hands. I'm going to do it that way. Salute all of the women out there. We'll talk more about that later. Keep in mind too, this weekend, and I'm not going to call it a special weekend, but it's a weekend that you ought to take note of, because this weekend, Sunday at 2 a.m., we go back to daylight savings time. So you ought to set your clocks forward 1 hour. We spring up 1 hour. And I want you to do that. That means I'm going to be taking an hour away from all of you guys. You're going to lose an hour's sleep, or an hour, or whatever you do. If you're going to a party, you're going to lose an hour. I'm taking an hour away from you. And that's the price you have to pay for daylight savings time. So just keep that in mind. That's 2 o'clock Sunday, or you can do it early, anytime you want. Some people may want to do it today or tomorrow, but you want to make sure that you do, because it's very important. Now, if you go to work without setting your clock forward, all right, so you know what that means? That means you got there a little bit late, right? Because we're taking an hour from you. Is that right? You're late. Because we're taking an hour from you. And so if we move the clock up an hour, there's an hour gone. You lose an hour. All right. So you don't want to be late for work on Monday morning, or whenever you have to be to work, you want to be there on time. So don't forget to set your clock. Now, here's another important note too, but you don't really have to worry about it. Daylight savings time is going to go all over until November 5th when we set the clocks back. Now, at that particular point, just as a heads up, and some of you may have known about this, but just as a heads up, when we go back November 5th, set the clocks back an hour. We always say do it Sunday at 2 o'clock, but in this case, it's going to be 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. when you set the clocks back. That's not until we go back November 5th, 1 a.m. instead of 2 a.m. And they've been talking about this a long time. I guess the reason for that is because they're looking forward to a little more daylight as the day ends. Let's say, in other words, you work from 9 to 5 and you get off at 5 o'clock. And in the wintertime, it's dark at 5 o'clock. So they want a little more daylight until you get home. That's what I heard. Anyway, now I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know if this is for the duration or if this is just for that particular time period. But we'll see as it goes on. But right now, we don't have to worry about the main thing now is to know that this Sunday at 2 a.m., you're setting your clocks forward 1 hour. And we go back to daylight savings time. And daylight savings times brings more daytime than nighttime. The days are longer, the nights are shorter. Baseball is coming around, the summer months are coming around. I can't wait for that. And we're going to talk about talking about sports. Brian, as I said, will be here for that. We'll talk more about that, part of his 2020 features. So don't forget to set your clocks. Don't forget it. Okay. As I said, if you're going to chime in the conversation, please be aware that we're gonna ask you to bring in your weather. Give us a little weather forecast. I want to talk about something. Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, as you already know, Mitch McConnell is in the hospital. He'll be there for several days because he took a fall on Thursday. And this was after a speech that he did. It was in a hotel in Washington. We had some kind of event going on, and he was the speaker there. And everyone said that, the speaking went well. It was all coherent. Everything was good. And then I don't know whether or not if he fell in his room or somewhere in the vicinity of the hotel, but and I don't know if he tripped or whatever, or lost his balance, whatever it was. But the thing is that he fell and he hit his head, and now he's undergoing a concussion right now. And so they're keeping him in the hospital for several days for treatment and observation. So we just want to send our prayers out to Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. He's 81 years old. And we just pray and hope that pretty soon he'll be back at work doing what he does. And in entertainment, news came along, and I woke up this morning and I found this news. Actor Robert Blake, he's the noted actor and Emmy Award winner who starred in the crime series Beretta. Remember Robert Blake, Beretta? Well, he died Thursday. He died Thursday in Los Angeles, California from a heart disease, and he was 89 years old. Beretta, also he played in other movies. I remember just the other day, Turner Classic Movies ran In Cold Blood, and he was the actor in that movie as well. And I think he lived a healthy life, because when he was playing Beretta, he looked buff. His arms were buffed, and he looked great. But he lasted 89 years old. 89 years old, that's a long time to live. And so we send our condolences out to his family, his friends, all of his co-workers, all of the people that remembered him and worked with him on Beretta and other movies. We're going to send our condolences out too. Also, Tom Sizemore, also an actor, known for his work in the film like Saving Private Ryan, Natural Born Killers, and Heat. Well, he died last Friday. This is old news. He died last Friday, but we're going to bring it out there to you. He died last Friday, and it was like after we got off the air, that's when we got the news. And the actor was hospitalized after suffering a brain aneurysm, and Sizemore passed away peacefully, they say, in his sleep. And he died at the St. Joseph Medical Center in Burbank, California. and he was alongside with his two sons and his brother, Paul Sizemore, and he was 61 years old when he passed away. Now, 61 years old these days, that's a young age. That's a very young age. We send our condolences out once again to his family, his friends, all the people who work with his family, friends, fans, and everyone who watched his movies and enjoyed what he did. So we send our deepest condolences out to Mr. Sizemore's family. And so that's the information that we got out there. So once again, if you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and we're here with you for a whole full hour. We've killed 15 minutes away, 15 minutes already. So we got about 45 minutes left in the show. So what I want you to do, if you will, is to tell your friends. And as I said, if you're watching us on Facebook, take the show and forward it to your friends. And so they can see that we're on the air and they can come out and visit us and then have a lot of fun. Okay, we're going to go for the weather forecast today. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to pull it up because I think we kind of lost it. Weather, where are you, weather? The weather forecast, if we can find it. I know it's in here somewhere. Let's see if we can find it. I think it's there. It's somewhere. We got a whole list of things here that we pulled it up originally. It was up here. We kind of lost it along the way. But stay with me, folks. In the meantime, while you're staying with me, take a sip of your coffee. It's the coffee hour. And as I said, we're going to be here for a whole hour. And we're going to take care of everything for you. So let me see what we got. Where might it be? Weather. Okay, I think we kind of lost it somewhere along the way. Okay, I think we found it. Let's take a look at it and see what we got. Temperatures right now, currently, we've got a current temperature of, let's see when it pops up. It's now what? There it is. 41 degrees is what we have right there. We've got 41 degrees outdoors right now. And this is what it looks like for today. It's going to be cloudy with occasional showers this afternoon. We'll have a high 48 degrees. Winds will be southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain will be 90%. So that's like, you could say that's like a guaranteed chance of rain almost. It's going to be rain tonight. We'll have a low around 38 degrees and winds will be northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain, another 100%. That's even more of a guarantee. Rainfall near a half an inch. So that's a lot of rain coming down. Take your boots or whatever you need to keep the rain off of you. I hope it's water repellent. And we're going to have cloudy skies with a mixture of rain and snow in the morning. That's for tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. We'll have a high around 45 degrees. Winds will be northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain will be 90%. And for Saturday night, it becomes partly cloudy. We'll have a low 34 degrees. Winds will be north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And as we wrap up our weekend for Sunday, I guess it gets a little bit of a mix of clouds and sun early, and then becoming cloudy later in the day, but it doesn't mention anything about rain. So I think we dodged a bullet for Sunday. We'll have a high around 47 degrees. Winds will be northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And repeating that current temperature, we have 41 degrees outdoors. That's what we have, 41 degrees. And here we are all together. Okay, it's now 18 minutes past the hour right now, coming up to 19 minutes past the hour. And excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, once again, while I shoot up. Delicious, really good. Okay, we've got all of the things out of the way. As I said, DJ Pete won't be here today because of the fact that DJ Pete is going to take the day off. So he left us information for us. His part of the program, as you already know, he does entertainment news and recites all of those birthdays of people of notoriety. So that's coming up without DJ Pete. So he left me the information. So I'll take that from him. But right now, we're going to go over to Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to link up with Brian Camp as we do each week. Brian Camp coming in with the latest developments in today's world of sports. And Brian, it's always good to have you out there with us. How's it going today?
It was raining. It was raining hard overnight. Looked like it's just overcast now. They did say the rain will let up over here. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. Right.
So good morning to you and to everybody out there. Good morning, Warren, Retha, everybody else, Pete, wherever you are, and to everybody around the globe that's tuning in. Good morning or good evening to you all, depending on where you're at. So get right to sports. Not much to talk about. Well, at least I know you want to hear about Major League Baseball. Well, there's really nothing to talk about. They're in spring training, so they are trying to get their athletic status together. They're trying to get their workout on and to get in shape and ready for opening day, which is supposed to be sometime late March into early April. So nothing to report. Everybody's just trying to get tuned in and tune in their bodies and wait for a long baseball season, because baseball is a long season. You know, it's long. So we might have some new rules and regulations. We just don't know yet. I know that they're trying some things out now for spring training with this pitch count that you got to pitch the ball or get in the batter's box within a certain amount of time. I mean, heck, everybody else is doing it. Basketball, you got 24 seconds to get off a shot. Football, you got 30 seconds to snap a play. And now we got this here now. So baseball, Major League Baseball is trying to bring the fans back, and definitely the younger crowd, because they are losing fans by the minute. And, it's just sad. It was once America's pastime, sports, baseball, apple pie, and, that saying. But right now they're in shambles. But right now we just hope that they have a good spring training. Come on back out to the stadium, especially you San Francisco Giant fans like myself. So we want you all to come back and enjoy. Got some controversial stuff that's going on in my two stories in the NBA. The police in Colorado had investigated Ja Morant actions last week for pulling out of the gun and being on live Instagram video displaying it. It appeared the gun was at a nightclub, which they was in town. His team is the Memphis Grizzlies. They were in town to play the Denver Nuggets. And when you make a lot of money, you start throwing that money around. I'm not saying that this is what he did, but when you have an entourage that's with you, somebody in the group got to be smart to protect John Morant's status as a star player. Don't get caught up in a lot of stuff, but investigations found that they had cleared him because the NBA prohibits any firearm traveling on team business trips and on team property. So he's been cleared, but he will not be playing for another 4 games. This is by the team now. The team is trying to, I don't know exactly what they're trying to do. My guess is they're just trying to sit him down and to let him think about it. In basketball, college basketball, we are now in March Madness. Yes, March Madness is a term used by the NCAA college for the basketball sport, where teams are picked, 64 teams, or now it's 68 teams that's enter into the tournament. And usually when the term March Madness is when a Cinderella team means that they have no chance of winning or winning the whole thing, the whole championship, but there's always an upset. There's always a thrilling upset, and it's pandemonium always break loose. So we hope that we get a lot of Cinderellas because it's wide open. it is wide open. So let's bring them on. The tournament is going to start another week or so, along with the women's as well too. Now, also in college basketball, Texas Tech has suspended basketball coach Mark Adams for what the school is calling an inappropriate, unacceptable, racially insensitive comment. Now, according to the school, Adams was encouraging a player to be more receptive to coaching and reference to Bible verses about workers, teachers, parents, and slaves. No, we're not past that yet. I don't know if we will ever get past that, but he used the wrong term and it got him in trouble. Not only did it was suspended, but he did step down eventually, and he's no longer the coach for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. So you got to be careful what you say. Two more legendary colleges teams in college basketball. Jim Boeheim, who coached for 47 years for Syracuse University, stepped down. It was in a press conference. He confused everybody at the media, saying that it's up to Syracuse whether or not they want him back. But I think Syracuse said, we're going to go beyond that. We're going to move on. So 47 years, been a long time, second all-time winningest coach in college basketball history, behind Coach K, who just retired a year ago from Duke University. So he's gone now. And Georgetown coach, former player, Patrick Ewing was let go too, after a dismal 6-year tear when he coached at Georgetown Hoyas. So he's no longer with Georgetown. So these are some prominent programs in college basketball history who now are going to go through some transitions right now. This day in sports, March 10th, 1941, Lee McPhail, Dodger general manager and former league president for the National League, predicts that all players will wear batting helmets. Can you imagine that? In 1941, he predicted this. And that's what they are wearing now, batting helmets. This is to protect them from getting hit in the head or getting hurt, period. So he predicted this in 1941. 2022, that was last year, exactly a year ago. After a 99-day lockout, Major League Baseball and Major League Baseball Players Association reached a new collective bargain agreement. Yeah, that was exactly a year ago. We covered that. We spoke about that last year, whether or not we was going to have baseball in that, because there might be a strike. But 1 year ago today, that's right, they agreed and they resumed playing baseball, and that's where we are right now. Birthdays. This date, 1946, Curly Cope, former NFL defensive tackle, mainly known to play for the Kansas City Chiefs, was born in Yuma, Arizona. 1948, Austin Carr, NBA guard. I got to talk about this guy. Every time I watch this game, the Cleveland Cavaliers, this guy is such a homer. He is such a homer. He's always criticizing, saying, "Oh no, this is the wrong way. This is how we should do it." He wishes that the opposition would miss shot. If you're a broadcaster, you're supposed to be objective. This man is a homer, and I can't stand to watch him. I have to turn down the TV. I actually have to turn down the TV every time I tune into a Cleveland Cavalier game. I just can't take him. Anyway. Austin Carr, happy birthday. It is your birthday. So I'll say happy birthday. And he was born in Washington, D.C. 1961, the gorgeous and pretty Pam Oliver, American sportscaster, born in Dallas, Texas. And in 1965, Rod Woodson, NFL cornerback, born in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And 1998, Justin Herbert, NFL quarterback, presently play for the Los Angeles Chargers, was born in Eugene, Oregon. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a brisk and overcast day here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm looking around to make sure no more rain is coming down. That's
Because
sports.
you're going to send it over here to the East Coast.
I'm definitely going to send it over to the East Coast.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're East Coast too, but you're going to send it. What I meant to say, you're going to
For
send.
North.
Yeah.
North, yeah. Up
Sorry,
north, yeah.
Yeah, because we're gonna get some. We're gonna get some. Oh, by the way, you're not supposed to compliment women that way. How pretty they are, or
Yes.
they're gorgeous. You can't do that anymore.
Yes, yes, and like we said last night, we want to honor our mother,
Yeah,
the late Betty Camp. She was a trailblazer, a pioneer. I know this is International Week, a month for the women who participate in sports, but we want to honor our mother today. Um, she left us at a very early age, early age, and we just want to just pay tribute. When I think about our mother, I think about one word, and that's sacrifice. She had very little, but she made the best of everything, and for what we had, and she made sure that we was locked and secure, and we honor her with two salutes. Two salutes. Thank you, Ma.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one other note, and I mentioned this on the show last night on Talkback Live, that KJ Osborne, who's the wide receiver from the, and I have to mention it because this is my team. He's a wide
Minnesota Vikings, yes.
Minnesota Vikings did a marvelous thing with three other guys. They got into this burning car and saved a guy's life. Out in Austin, Texas, they did that. So,
yeah.
I'm proud of my Minnesota Vikings, man, but they not only do they prove they're a good team as football players, but they're humanitarians as well. And so congratulations. They didn't make the Super Bowl, but they were close.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now we're talking baseball. Warren says, "Let's go Mets." I didn't even know that he was a Met fan. He says,
he lived out there, so yeah, Mets, Jets, they all lived out there in Long Island, and they played right there in Queens, so it was a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mets. You know what? Let me tell you about the Mets, though. They have an excellent chance of going to the World Series when they get. I mean, their pitching staff is like off the charts right now.
Yeah.
So the problem that they may endure, because these pitchers are a little older, they may have, they may get injured a lot, and hopefully the younger players will pick up. Even the Yankees got a shot.
Yeah.
But my San Francisco Giants may have something to say to derail the New York Mets, but because we're in the National League. But I'm rooting for my Giants, and if the Giants don't win, I'll root for the Mets. But my Giants come first before the Mets.
Well,
sorry,
I respect the Giants, who were once New Yorkers. I respect.
That's right. That's right.
I respect them, but I want to see. I'm going to try for a second time to see if the Mets and the Yankees could get into the World Series next year. We've got a long way to go before we get to that point, but I want to see them try, because it almost happened. It almost happened. Yeah. But yeah, the Giants were New Yorkers. I don't know why they left. I mean, we had great New York teams. We had the Brooklyn Dodgers. We had and both of the New York teams went to California.
Yeah, that's right. They sure did.
They wanted to keep a long time ago. They wanted to keep the Dodgers in Brooklyn, and where the Barclays Center is today in New York, that was the original site of the new Ebbets Field.
Absolutely, yes.
If you look at the Barclays Center, it's shaped. That building is shaped like the old Ebbets Field.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And that was supposed to be, when they were looking for a new home, that was supposed to be the original area.
Yeah, that's right.
So Warren, hopefully your Mets will get there. And a good morning to Aretha. Good morning to you, and Aretha. Happy Women's Month. This is
yes.
Yeah, this is Women's History.
That's right.
So happy.
Yes. Let's give them applaud. The women stand tall.
Do marvelous things, And they always call us big babies, men, big babies, and the women always take care of us. They call us big babies, but they take care of us. So we got to applaud that.
Yes.
Okay, Brian, I guess we'll catch you back here next week.
Yes, I'm going to celebrate my wife. Monday is going to be her birthday, but she's going to celebrate this weekend. And I got to babysit for most of the weekend while she goes out with her friends. And you know, it's a ladies, only fitting, right? It's Women's Month, so she's going out with the ladies and everything. I didn't even think about that. But then I'm going to have the day to her with myself on Monday, on the 13th, which is actually her birthday.
So it's going to be ladies' night, huh?
Yes, it's a milestone birthday for her.
Oh, good.
She's fabulous 50. She's
Well,
going to be.
there should be a theme song for that. Oh, it's ladies' night and the feeling's right.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, wish her a happy Women's History Month for me.
I sure will. Everybody enjoy your weekend. Be safe, and see you soon.
Hey, take care of yourself. Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports update. And he comes here every Friday at this time, the first part of the 2020 feature, and when he brings sports. And I just love, talking sports with him. And the second half of the 2020 feature, of course, DJ Pete, with entertainment news and reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety. He won't be here today, so we're going to take over and make sure that his part of the show is covered. And just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And we're here every Friday, as you already know, and we love for all of you to get involved with us. And if you have anything you want to say in particular, you want to meet some of the people out here, you can talk to them too. We keep open conversation going. That's what we like to do, keep open conversation going. So if there's anything that you want to talk about in particular, I don't care what it is, sports, and even if I don't know the subject, maybe you could school me, Go back to baseball for a minute, because Warren's just dropped me this note. He says the best center fielders in baseball all played in New York, all one time too. I think he's right, because you had Joe DiMaggio. He was a center fielder. Mickey Mantle came along. Willie Mays. Who else? Who else was there? Throw out some more, Warren, if you know any more. Duke Snider. Was Duke Snider center fielder? Oh yeah, he sure was. Right, Brian. They're naming them as those names come along. You can read them right there if you watch. If you're in the house here, otherwise I'll read them out for you. Yeah. So you got I did mention Willie Mays, Duke Snider, Mickey Mantle. And of course Joe DiMaggio from the Yankees. All of those guys. And now he's saying the Giants, Willie Mays, Yankees, Mickey Mantle, Dodgers. Duke Snider was a play for the Dodgers. Now those of you who are younger people, you may not know these names. Of course, you're always going to know Mickey Mantle, and you're always going to know Willie Mays. Maybe not so much Duke Snider, because Duke Snider goes like way back. I mean, they all go back together. But the household names you have is Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle. And for a guy like me, Duke Snider is a household name too, because I remember Duke Snider. So you have all of these players and all of these guys back in those days didn't make the kind of money. They made good money for the time, but they didn't make the kind of money that the players are making today. They didn't make the $1 million bracket back in those days. But yet and still, whatever money they were getting back in the early days, that was a lot of money. And now what they're making, they're doing the $1 million thing. Maybe it'll get to the point, I don't know if they'll get to the point where they'll make the $1 billion, because time goes on, things get more expensive, mortgages are high, and buying a house is high, and saving is almost impossible, these days. So, right now, it's the $1 million bracket. That's what they're getting. And under the $1 million bracket, you're getting paid peanuts. And even in basketball, I mean, even when Michael Jordan was playing, he might have, in the end, he might have made the $1 million bracket. But I remember when he came up, he was like triple digits, I think, if I can remember. but I'm not sure how much he was worth at the end. I can't remember, but Brian and Warren, they would know that, and I'm pretty sure they'll let me know that as well. And when they let me know, I will certainly let you know. Okay, DJ Pete is not going to be here today, but as I told you, he left information on his part of the 2020 feature. And so this is what he has today. This is what he has today. Anybody heard of Bob Willis? Bob Willis? Well, Bob Willis was born on this day, March 6th. Well, March 6th passed already, but he was born March 6th in 1905. So let's check out the history of who Bob Willis was, or who he was back then. James Robert Willis. And he was an American country swing musician and also a songwriter. And back in those days of the Gene Autry days, that's the kind of music he was playing. And anyway, he was born on March 6th back in 1905. He passed away May 13th, back in 1975. He was 70 years old. He passed away in Fort Worth, Texas. So if you're still into that kind of music, and that music is still available if you don't hear it anymore, of course, on the radio, of course, you could always go on YouTube and go back in time and find music of Gene Autry and those cowboys, those singing cowboys. And that's what Bob Willis was. He was a singing cowboy. So happy birthday. I learned more about a lot of people that I didn't even know about. Bob Willis. I really honestly didn't know who Bob Willis was, but I know who this guy is. Lloyd Price. Lloyd Price was born yesterday. Well, he wasn't born yesterday, but the date, it was yesterday, March 9th. Lloyd Price was born in 1933. Lloyd Price was an R&B singer. He made big hits such as Lordy Miss Claudie, Staggerly, Personality, Where Were You on Our Wedding Day, I'm Gonna Get Married, all of those kinds of songs, Lloyd Price. And I enjoyed playing his records back then, but Lloyd Price passed away May 3rd back in 2021. He was 88 years old, so he lived a great, fruitful life. He left us a great legacy of his music, and I still have his music. And every once in a while, I reflect on Lloyd Price and a lot of the other musicians and singers that I remember in that past, and I still have their records. And sometimes when I'm in solitude, I sit back. Every once in a while, you get the urge to listen to something old or watch something old, and I do that with the music, and particularly with Motown, though, when I grew up in the 60s, particularly with Motown. Now, every once in a while, a memory will pop up, and I say, wow, I remember, where was I at that time? 1965 Temptations, and I put that record on, and I'll play it. It's nice to go back in time every once in a while and listen to those old sounds back then. Keely Smith was the second half, the better half of Louis Prima, and they were a married couple. Louis Prima was a singer and a musician. He played the trumpet, I know that, and together they did that song "Old Black Magic." Now, Keely Smith was born yesterday. Not really, the same day as Lloyd Price. Not yesterday, but born on yesterday's date, which was March 9th. Today's the 10th. March 9th, she was born in 1928. And a little chime for her. And Keely Smith passed away December 16th, 2017, at the age of 89 years old. You ever notice those people back in those old days, those entertainers, they wind up living a long time. Most of them, they live a long time. And it was something in the food, I don't know. But Keely Smith, she was a great singer and a great performer and a staple in Las Vegas back in the 50s. Her and her husband were a staple in Las Vegas back in the 60s, because that's when Las Vegas was really hot back then. It changed over the years, though. Now, here's someone that I don't recognize the name. Maybe you could help me out. Maybe you know this name by the name of Bix Beiderbecke. Bix Beiderbecke, okay, was born on this day in 1903. Now, let's find out who Bix Beiderbecke is. All right. I do know that Bix Beiderbecke was born 1903 and passed away August 6th in 1931. And Beta Bex died at a tender age of 28 years old. All right, and I say those entertainers, things get better as far as people living longevity. But Beta Bex was an American jazz cornetist. Played the cornet. That means he could play the trumpet too. He played piano, and he was a composer. And I guess back in the swing year, back in the 1920s, the roaring 20s, that kind of music. So there's another person I just learned about. And so I'll just put him on my list of people that should be remembered and brought up every time their birthdays come around. Here's someone that everyone knows. One and two, and Lawrence Welk. Lawrence Welk was born tomorrow. He would have been, let's see, 1903, March 11th, that's tomorrow. He will be celebrating his birthday. Lawrence Welk, as you already know, Lawrence Welk he played big band music. And on his show, he had the Lennon sisters, Jimmy Rogers, and the tap dancer, Artie, I think his name was Arthur Duncan. All right, and all of these people, and he just had a stable of people with him, and a lot of these people that worked with him got their careers launched through him. But I got to tell you about Lawrence Welk. I mean, listen, a lot of you guys may be Lawrence Welk fans. You may be Lawrence Welk fans, and that's okay. I'm not angry at you. But I remember growing up as a kid, I used to go to my grandmother's house on the weekend. And I always loved to do that. You know why? Because she spoiled me rotten. I got away with murder with her. That's one of the reasons why I used to always love spending time with her on the weekends. I got away with murder. You wouldn't believe. And my mom wasn't going to have it. So I go to my grandmother's house on the weekend. The only price to pay for that was on Saturday night. They only had one TV, and most families back in those days had one TV with rabbit ear antennas, right? And the catch to stay with her for the weekend is she used to love to watch the Lawrence Welk show. So I was forced to watch the Lawrence Welk. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, that was not my idea of a Saturday night. But but she loved the Lawrence Welk show, and I had to sit there and watch it. She didn't tie me to a chair and say, sit there and watch it. She didn't do that. It's just that was her time. It was her TV. And she's taking her time to watch her show. Just like in the old days when the soap operas was on, the women used to call them my stories. They didn't call them soap operas, they called them my stories. Well, Lawrence Welk was her show, and she watched it, and I had to watch it with her. I use Lawrence Welk. I would say, if someone bothers you, if someone wrongs you, you don't beat up a guy or beat up anyone. You don't beat up a person. You don't shoot them or do anything like this. You torture them. And the best way to torture a person is tie them to a chair and turn up the Lawrence Welk show, reruns of a Lawrence Welk show, and see how they feel about that. Listen, guys, I'm only joking, especially to the Lawrence Welk fans. But nevertheless, Lawrence Welk is still on the air in reruns. And I think he'll probably be there until the day he dies, but he's gone. He's no longer with us, but forever, he's a staple on TV. And so happy birthday to Lawrence Welk. And you know something, I'll tell you something else. To pay homage to Lawrence Welk, I am going to watch a Lawrence Welk show tomorrow night, because here where I live, it comes on public TV. It's a public TV. It's all on public TV now. And one of the public TV channels run Lawrence Welk every week. So I am going to sit back for that hour, have a couple of cheeseburgers and a beer, and watch the Lawrence Welk show. And if it gets too much for me to bear, or too overwhelming, then I'll have a shot of Jack Daniels, and then I won't even know that I'm watching it. Anyway, you're watching Talk Back Live. You're watching the Coffee Hour. And I'm going to be with you for the duration of this show. It's 10 minutes to the hour right now. And so we're going to be with you. And not too long ago, not too far away, just before the show is over, I'll have all of those great movies that you love so much. Turner Classic Movies, those movies that you love so much. And I'm going to add to your list of what to watch if you want to catch up on some movies. Birthdays today. Rapper Bad Bunny, he's one of the rappers. He's Bad Bunny. You heard about Bad Bunny, right? Bad Bunny is not only a rapper, but you can see him if you watch wrestling like I do. He pops up on wrestling. He's a wrestler too. Bad Bunny is 29 years old today, and country singer Carrie Underwood is 40 years old today. Prince Edward of Britain is 59 years old today. Actress Jasmine Guy is 61. Jasmine Guy, you know her on that sitcom that comes on, I believe the name of the sitcom is called, can't remember it offhand, but she's at the Southern Belle, someone will mention it. Anyway, she's 61 years old today. R&B singer Tina Charles is 69 years old today. An actor, and I'm not going to mess with this guy. I'm not going to mess with Chuck Norris. So that's why I'm going to say he's 83 years old today. I hope he doesn't find me for saying that, but actor Chuck Norris is 83 years old today. And the late Barbara Sinatra, the last wife of Frank Sinatra, would have been 69 years old today. So we want to say congratulations and happy birthday to all of you, and all of you who are watching today. If you happen to be celebrating a birthday, then I would say happy birthday to all of you as well. Okay, and so the beat goes on, as they say. Okay, and just in case anyone want to get in touch with me personally, here's what you do. You can email me, or you can give me a phone call, all right? The email address, my email address is Frank Allan Prod. Allan's last name is spelled A-L-L-A-N, two L's, A-L-L-A-N, Frank Allan Prod, P-R-O-D, that's short for Productions, at AOL.com. Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. I have a telephone number too. You can call at 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. If you have any questions about the show, or maybe you want to add something to the show by making some kind of suggestions for the show, we'd be glad to listen to you. And even if you just want to say hello, that's fine too. Remember, that email address is frankallanprod at AOL.com. That's frankallanprod at AOL.com. Telephone number 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. And I just want to, I neglected to say this too, DJ Pete has a radio show. And I used to always do this after I, do his part of the show when he's not here. But you can catch him on www.radio-airwave.co.uk. And you can catch him there Thursdays from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Also, you can catch him on his hometown station, WMPG Radio in Portland, Maine. If you can't catch the station, no excuse. There's a website, www.wmpg.org. And you can catch him every other Tuesday between 8:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. and all times, Eastern time zone in the USA and Canada. So there you have all of that. I wanted to talk about, just quickly, because we got to go pretty soon, but the Southwest Airlines. You guys knew about Southwest Airlines. Well, they're having their problems, they're having their problems. And you heard about the story, 3 different events. Now you heard about, remember the time when all of those people got stranded in the airport and they were there for days and days and days. And Southwest Airlines was the only airline that couldn't get their passengers out of that rut. because of the fact that their computer system were not up to date, and they just couldn't do it. And another thing came around where they had a just recently, just not I guess it was sometime maybe a week ago or so, when they had to do an emergency landing, because when they took off, sometimes occasionally the birds get in the way and they get caught up in the engine, and that kind of ruffles things off, and then the engines, they start to smoke, so they had to make an emergency landing. And then what about the guy that he had his day in court? I don't know what the outcome was. He threatened to stab a flight attendant, a male flight attendant, with a spoon. And I'm not talking that the spoon was broke, so they had the jagged edges. And he was going to stab for whatever reason, I don't know. And so they took him off the plane. Thank God for that. I don't know what the reason. You got a lot of crazy people. And then the latest thing was this past week, as a matter of fact, there was a fight on the flight. That's a tongue twister. A fight on the flight, and it could have been avoided because the situation happened in the terminal. Some guy accidentally bumped into another guy's wife, and I guess he didn't say I'm sorry or whatever, or apologize or whatever it was. And then they waited till they got on the plane, and that's when a fight broke out. I don't know why they couldn't settle it then. But anyway, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that Southwest Airlines is really having a meltdown. They're really having their problem. So let's put our hands on them and say, heal, heal, heal. What's the best for Southwest Airlines? And that just lets me know that I'm not going to fly for a while. I'm not going to fly for a while. So any one of you guys, Warren, Brian, don't invite me to your house just yet. Just wait for a while, because I have to fly out to North Carolina. Better yet, I can drive out there, but I'm not going to fly anytime soon. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to give you all of that information about the movies that you like. Now, I do this each week. Because a lot of you like to do other things, and then a lot of you like to catch up on movies. Now, I know here in New York, the weather's not going to be too good, so this is a good time to catch up on some movies, old movies. And I have some movies that I want to relay to you that I think is well worth watching. I think if you like them, I think you will. Let's start off right now, going back to 1955, Rebel Without a Cause. Now, this is a classic. James Dean, Natalie Wood, and Sal Mineo. That comes on Turner Classic Movies. That's Friday. That's tonight, Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can watch it then. That's Rebel Without a Cause. And that's back to 1955. Here's another classic. A year later, 1956, Forbidden Planet, Leslie Nielsen, Walter Pidgeon, and Anne Francis. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. You can check it out then. Here's something musically. If you're musically inclined or you like Fred Astaire movies, here's something that's called Swing Time, 1936. Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers. And that's Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I make that 8:30 a.m. if you dare to get up that early. Otherwise, you can DVR all of these movies and watch them at your own convenience. Here's The Music Man, another musical. This goes back to 1962 with Robert Preston and Shirley Jones. Even little Ronnie Howard is in it, Opie from Andy Griffith. Anyway, that's Turner Classic Movies, Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And here's something that Brian likes, and I like too, back in 1961, The West Side Story, Richard Beymer, Natalie Wood, all together with a host of other people. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. And you have The Dirty Dozens from 1967 with Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine. Even Jim Brown was in this movie. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's for Sunday at 2:45 p.m. So you should be back from church at that time. All right, ready for dinner, and you can watch it at the same time. Dirty Dozen. From Here to Eternity from 1953, Burt Lancaster, Montgomery Clift, Deborah Kerr, and Frank Sinatra. And that's Frank Sinatra played Maggio. He was going to do this movie for free. Anyway, that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 11:15 p.m., late night. So you can watch it then. It's a great movie. All of these great movies. They're all great movies. And I hope you get a chance to enjoy these movies. and let me know how you like them. Okay, it's time for me to get out of here. I'm going to bust loose because it's time for me to get the weekend going. And I hope that you're going to have a great one. I'll be back here Thursday night for Talk Back Live. Brian Camp will be with me with sports, latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. I hope you will be here too. Other than that, I will return here next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the coffee hour. Brian Camp with the 2020 feature, his part of the 2020 feature, 20 past the hour with sports, 22 the hour, DJ Pete with entertainment news and reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety. I couldn't explain it even more than that. So I hope that you will be back here with us at that time. In the meantime, you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, a wonderful week. And before I go, don't forget, spring up. Set your clock forward 1 hour, 2 a.m. or even earlier if you want. But it's 2 a.m. Sunday morning because we go back to daylight savings time. You guys have a wonderful one, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.